All right,
All right.
and it's not letting me mod anyone, so sorry about that, folks. Let me stop that, and I want to welcome everybody here today. Very special panel today. We have the one, the only, as you can see, Rosie O Kelly, up on panel here today. I want to welcome everybody again for coming in and stopping in for this wondrous occasion. Um, a long time coming, Rosie. Welcome to the panel again. This is Rosie's second time here. She's this ain't her first rodeo, as G would say over here. So I hope things are well. What's going on with you today, Rosie?
Oh, just been pursuing this. Been a lot of YouTube things going on. As you know, I've worked with you probably about a month here. I have the highest respect for you and what you do on YouTube. And we met in person in Las Vegas, and we have been friends ever since.
Yeah.
I wanted to just share, have you share some background on this, on this situation. Kind of fill in some of the gray areas, some of the shaded areas, to just give people a better idea of how things work, and to go further on to explain that I really believe, as a result of what Elvis Travels did to me, that I was able to, with the help of YouTube and having that entree to YouTube, was able to have him double terminated on YouTube. And that it's going to be a point of controversy, because of course we have speculation about whether someone that was a Facebook friend was of age, and I don't really want to talk about that for scores, because I'm the kind of person, unless I have receipts or proof, I'm not going to venture into that. But I was able to provide YouTube with definitive proof, thanks to a lot of friends, thanks to people like Kitten Cat. Thank you, Nick. Thanks to people like Kitten Cat, other people that have gathered in a tremendous amount of links that I never bothered saving to recording to videos and things like that. So it was quite a process. It started on August 22nd. When I was in Reno, Nevada, and I woke up and got a notification. It flickered on, I think, for about 3 minutes, that my channel had been terminated.
Right. Thank you, NNC, very much. Yeah. Okay.
That was really shocking. But then 3 minutes later, it wasn't, because the YouTube computer must have gone through and determined that something was a little out of kilter about the way that copyright strikes came in, or something like that. But, it was a hell of a day, and that kicked off everything, because, as I've said before, I'm not the kind of person that ever goes after. I have videos of mine that people have uploaded as their own since 2013. I've never struck anybody on YouTube or really cared if anybody came back on YouTube. I don't care. It's all part of the fabric of YouTube. But you cross a line, a real line, when you do something dastardly and underhanded. The sole point is to immediately and completely terminate me on YouTube. And at that point, I engaged in something I'd never done before. It took me a week to figure out, because I don't communicate with YouTube, right? I got no reason to. All right. Sometimes on monetization. So it took me a while to figure out what benefits of communication I had with YouTube, because they bury things, and things are, they're not obvious to people. And then once I got there, I was delighted that I had a clear pathway due to the size of the channel. And there's nothing bragging about that, but just due to the size of the channel, that I had the direct ear of YouTube. Yeah. And from then on, it would just be a matter of patience. And I did a video a couple of weeks ago called Waterloo, and how, as you know, for the history of Waterloo, where Napoleon was badly defeated in his ill-fated invasion of Russia, and the Russians came for him in Paris, and along with the English and everybody else, they put him on the island of Elba, where he escaped and led a ill-fated 100 Days campaign to regain his emperor status, and he was defeated by Wellington at Waterloo, and then he was exiled to St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic, where it was all over. So
correct. Yeah. Yeah, it's ironic, as the great saying always goes, Rosie. History, it's doomed to repeat itself if we don't learn from it. And it's funny that with the Waterloo title, repetitivity, thinking that you're untouchable, thinking you can go around and just talk to people how you want, and over the years think that your karma, you're not going to get back what you put into it. I mean, karma is what it is. Karma is as karma does, Rosie. And it was only a matter of time before things hit the proverbial fan.
Yeah.
And I know,
and I need to also apologize because a lot of people have poured things into my ears over the years, and I mistakenly and stupidly believe that time at the wheel and time together and courtesies and Las Vegas and birthdays and Christmases and things like that, I mistakenly believed that might help humanize and defocus a little bit on YouTube and put a better path and a happier path for the future. But it was not meant to be.
Right.
And it was a really tough revelation for me in August to realize that, well, I never really meant anything all those years. If somebody could take a swipe at total termination on your channel, it was scary to me for that I could be in somebody's head 24/7 every day of the week, that every effort of theirs was directed to, was just inspired by hatred and jealousy and this driving subterfuge to get somebody terminated on YouTube. And that's a pretty sad way to go about things. But I will also say this: there's a right way to disagree with people, and there's a wrong way. Colleen Aloha and I had been friends, I don't know, probably about a year before she got mixed up with the Elvis travels thing, and she was kind to me. She sent me coffee and other things, but we had a disagreement about what Elvis did or didn't do. But I never felt the need to go on any kind of personal attack. You know what I'm saying? To degrade somebody. I just put my opinion out there, and she didn't have a big deal about it. She didn't blow her top and start tearing me to pieces. That's the normal course of civil discourse in life. Yeah. Okay. So we stand today, and I'm able to be friendly again with Colleen, and we had that shared interest of what happened over the last month or so. But people should be a little concerned about how deeply YouTube can get into the psyche of some people when the drive for money and fame becomes so overwhelming that you literally become the dirtiest player in the game. That's a scary thought. It is. Thought.
And let's rewind a little bit. Now, speaking of this, hey, MJ, thanks a lot for that, and everybody for coming in. Hi, Holly, Street Life, Sam, Coach Ism, Zigzag. I see you guys. I tried to mod people, but it's not letting me. You know how YouTube's acted up. Let's rewind a little bit. It's an ironic time, too. I don't know if it's true. I heard something along the lines of he was going to buy a firearm. Now, let's back up. Now, when you first met the Assyrian nomad Vandwell, I don't remember the whole channel name, but you know what I'm getting at.
Nomadic Assyrian Elvis Van Dweller.
And I know that Rosie liked the name. Is the only reason she went over there in the first place. So let's just, it wasn't his looks. So she goes over there, and there was that infamous picture that you have, the video of him just trying to show him how to, properly and safely use a firearm and have fun down at the range, which was a very funny picture of him in his, half horse stance. Have you seen any difference is there any difference at all between that Marshall and today's Marshall? Is it the same guy? Has it just escalated, or did you see the greed kind of formulate over time?
I think I saw an element of surprise appear in his demeanor that when he saw Amanda May was able, with my efforts, to raise several $1,000s to buy an RV and things. He suddenly discovered that YouTube could be a honeypot for making money, and that I guess that was the original vector that took off and took us down the road here, where where money being a a consequence of doing good YouTube content, money will follow and things.
Right.
He decided to put money at the fore and do things through GoFundMe's for solar panels, and it just changed more and more that there wasn't even a pretense of covering what the goal was. It shifted to all money all the time, and to the point that it became very very overbearing to people. And then to, of course, drive the content, you needed to degrade people.
Yeah.
And I think it's I think that's the worst part about it, that people would be ground up as grist for the mill, because people would show up in droves to hear either me be blasted or Colleen or other people on the channel continuously. So yes, there was a remarkable change over time.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, even when I got in here and I started streaming, I had no idea about the monetary gain. You know what I mean? I watched YouTubers. I come from gaming, you know me, and I watched them, and I built my channel basically, like, structured it, at least initially, around how they did it. And then, as you know, gaming just took a plunge on here, unless
Right.
you're really well settled. So, you choose paneling, and you meet all sorts of different people out here, especially with the COVID. You can agree. I mean, we are the lucky ones out here, guys, in the side chats and Rosie and I. We have the experience. All these people with the COVID and staying in, and now they're paneling. I feel bad for them going on here being black. We at least have that online panel trolling experience, because some of them probably are seeing how. What's interesting is all the different things. Let's talk a little bit about tit for tat, and I'm talking about in a positive manner. You guys have probably seen over the years and probably scratched your head like I did. And trust me, I've asked Rosie face to face. I asked her. I says, what is it with Marshall? Well, what makes you really drive to really want to help? And she's just, listen, I want to help people. And just typical Rosie response, how she normally handles it. And it was very well stated. And I understood, like, yeah, I know you like who you like, blah, 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 blah. But let's speaking a little bit about that. Like,
Well, we had the longest history, starting in 2015 with the RV
right,
hangouts, and I've always been attracted to colorful characters on social media platforms, and I think
Sure.
I get a laugh, I get some enjoyment out of it. I came in more or less after he had already had his first intervention with Wanderlust Estate in, I guess it was in Chicago, the famous birdseed intervention, where he was sitting in the pet aisle at Walmart on a bucket of birdseed, and Wanderlust Estate was kind of lecturing him about being a better person. And I went out to Chicago that November of 2015 and wanted to try to get some time with him because he went bad again in that period.
Right.
I thought to myself, if I help him fix up his van some and do some of the repairs and have some time there to talk to him, then maybe the course and direction could change on that. And that was a recurrent theme of mine. And then he would see Jesus for about 3 days, and then all of a sudden it would be back to the usual thing. And just as he relayed to me, look, man, nobody wants to see a positive person on YouTube. You have to be a negative person to get attention. So,
Thus the heel act.
yeah, the heel act, the person that would stand on the ropes at the WWE in the ring and put both fingers up to the audience there and F you, everybody, and get the audience almost rabid to want to come down and rip this guy's head off.
Yeah.
In the seats. Big attention getting things out there. So Um,
Joe
but
King.
at various points, like we would go to Las Vegas and places like that, because I always believe if you get your head out of the van for a few days, clear the air a little bit, because that's a very stifling lifestyle
Yeah.
to be defined by about 50 square feet of living space.
There you go. Here's a question for you from our good friend Joe King. He asked Rosie if he tries for another monetized channel, will you go after him?
Yes,
Yes, she will.
yes, of course I will, because he drew first blood, and we can get to the events, the particulars, which I've not disclosed yet about the
Hmm.
novel and unprecedented way that he tried to take me out on YouTube. And what was most phenomenal about it was my own videos, my own content that he tried to strike me on. But we can proceed to that whenever you want to. I don't know if you have any other questions about.
No, no. I just wanted to get a little bit of tit for tat. You know, all these things he says he does for the community, correct? All over all these years. In my opinion, the guy gets a few camper van videos that went viral, and that's all that happened. That's all that happened. And it put him on the map to a degree where I can imagine the dismay of the actual people in the RV community that go for those van tours, because they're very cool. Can't tell you how much I binge watch, like RV
Yeah,
videos. Oh my God, the RV community, beautiful RVs. There's no doubt why people love to do it. I've seen some amazing RVs out there that are.
do you know for how many times I tried to tell him I would point to the Starflight video, which had 800,000. I don't know what happened
Yes,
to this camera,
it's
and
all right. I'll
and
go back and forth too.
yeah, I would tell him, look at what happens when you take a little time to make great content. I tried to tell him that negative approach on YouTube never bears fruit over the long term. I can't think of any channel that's distinctly negative that's survived on YouTube.
Yeah, they go for these short spurts, Rosie, and they get to a certain cusp of subs, and that's it. And there's plenty of people that you and I know right now, and you guys in the side chat, you can notice that their subs really don't. They get to a certain level and they kind of start to fluctuate back and forth. But and that's the funny part about it. He says he does all this stuff and he's done so much for the community, but yet at the same time, folks like you are the ones that were keeping him afloat, which is why people were scratching their head, like the van bill. You took that thing and. I don't think people, even though with the great detail you showed, I don't think people really understand the levity of work that it took to go into that.
Oh yeah, plus the time of year, considering we're
Yeah.
undertaking a van build when the moment we roll into town in October of 2019, we're confronted with a devastating fire that almost took out J.K. NoCal's town of Windsor, slightly
Yes.
north of here. And we had that, and I'm spending my time packing up things here and putting them in the van, getting ready to flee as my home is once again under threat. Then we had the Halloween time come up. Then the rainy season hit, trying to work in the mud and things outside to do a van build. Plus the van was in incredibly bad shape. With the van got here with a waterlogged rug inside that was dirty. I don't know what kind of human pathogens and biological things were on that van. I know I had terrible infections on my hand and my fingers
Yes.
swelled up, so that took me out of the game for about a week or so. The wood rot was so severe that I had to rebuild under the refrigerator. It was being held up by basically a toothpick. I had to go in there and do the carpenter work of rebuilding a base in place for that refrigerator. So everything had to be gutted. All the floor had to be removed right down to the metal. It was a huge project, and there was no budget really for it. Okay, because there wasn't much money to go in. I probably ended up putting about $500 of my own money into that for materials. But it was definitely a shoestring build, so you have to be a little clever. The
Yeah.
base that was used for the jackknife sofa I wanted to use that to make a dinette to convert that into a dinette that's structured below. So it took a lot of, everything's a one-off build. People can say it took a long time to do, but if you're working with a guy who gets up at noon or 1 o'clock in the day and starts to work, well, hell, by 5 o'clock I'm done because I get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, and you're done your work. You can relax and have a nice dinner like normal people. They get, yeah, right.
Exactly. We just probably hold questions to the end. That would be I'll answer
Yeah,
any questions.
we'll answer
And
some questions.
I'll be live myself on, tonight to talk
Excellent.
about things. But I like Four Scores, and we had planned this a while ago. We didn't know if things would
Yeah,
work out the way.
Yeah, it's funny when I saw that this morning. I was like, "Hey, Rosie knows what's going on. People can say what they want. Well, she says she's a big wig and can talk to she has the ins with YouTube. Well, I mean, I have the receipts. You saw the receipts. If you haven't seen her video.
Well, you mean a lot to me. We communicate off of YouTube and things, and I like the style that you bring to things. I think you're a very fair interviewer. You don't give me a pass. You've already established that by talking about the back and forth of, where people have told me, don't do this thing, Rosie, or how do you explain your continuing?
Oh, I asked you. I asked her right to her face. Hey, boss of girl, Brad. And we walked arm in arm. Remember that down Fremont Street, all alone, because Mr. Z backed off, who was one of my great guy that I met down there, Mark Handler, a great group down there. But yeah, hey, run around. Everybody, thank you for coming in here. Rosie doesn't go on panel often, and I'm very fortunate to have her on here, being a trebuchet for her justice, as I posted it. So let's move on, Rosie. Now, what's the next thing you want to cover on? Now, you were.
Well, I also need to apologize to people, and I've done that a little bit. I'm not totally blameless in things on YouTube. I get sometimes stubborn and hard-headed and have a mistaken belief that my way is the correct way to do things in life. And it's resulted in, I don't go after anybody, but there's been some collateral damage over the years with, friends of mine, people. I even go so far as to say trolls that have been 100% correct and spot on with not only their analysis of the situation, but also their predictions of the ultimate outcomes of the way things would be. So I think it's very important early on to just look at the camera and say, I'm sorry, you were right. And at the end of all things, I was wrong about that. And I apologize for that. And I'll have to live with the consequences of that. And let me tell you, my channel's been damaged severely over the last month too, with when Four Scores and I get down to the mechanics of what was attempted to be done on the channel was unprecedented according to the feedback I got from YouTube on here, and it's indicative of how low things can go on YouTube. So I do want to apologize to the community at large and other people that I have battled with about my determination to think I have the right way forward. And, at the end of it all, I really believed that I had a good friendship, and I thought over time, hopefully, and then as soon as that van cleared the property line, it was all negative.
Yeah.
I held him prisoner and this, that, and the other thing. And that was stunning to me. That was
held
shocking.
you prisoner. What do you mean held? You put a roof over his head. You fed him daily. Okay. He ran up electric bills up to $500 extra. He didn't know. I mean, this is a person that Rosie puts a pair of hedge clippers in his hands, and it looks like he's got a 45-foot pole in one hand trying to wield it. He absolutely has no. I'm just sorry, but he has no conception of work. Even the jobs that he has had either require him to sleep or sit. Driving. I mean, he has done nothing. And then he continues to think that he's going to ride off the backs of you. That's why I had to. A lot of people, and Rosie had touched on it earlier. A lot of people stopped watching Rosie when he came around. Was at
Yes,
the rancho. A fuck ton of people.
a ton. It cost me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subscribers, but I mistakenly thought the human aspect, the humanity of trying to have some time with this guy may at the end put a smile on people's face instead of a scowl of disgust about the whole deal. It took a long time to recover from that on YouTube. And I have to say that behavior continued right up to the other night when, you see something disturbing like this. And of course, he set Twitter up. And on the, the 27th of September.
I'll solo feed you if you have to show something on your phone.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold this up on the 27th of September. And I'm not on Twitter because I just found that it was a tough. It wasn't for me, but on the 27th. Now, remember, today is the 30th of September. This is three days ago, the day of the infamous or famous Street Life 9-hour Lollapalooza.
Street Life,
which was great.
Yeah, Street Life done it up.
I've liked Street Life since day one. There's always a great attitude and things. But with this particular tweet on the 27th, join me live on Elvis Travels for a special edition of the parable of the Hawaiian heifer, right, in 5 minutes on there. Okay, this was the 27th of September. The reason I say this is because that night was the night of the Street Life Lollapalooza that it was on here.
Right.
And and I want everybody to know the way I feel about that thing. The course and direction of his and tenor of his focus would not have changed one iota if it was not for the fact that Colleen Aloha appeared on that panel and brought somebody in that was boots on the ground, eyes on the ground, that put the fear of God into this person. And then suddenly it was the biggest 180 you've ever seen. It was like, can't we have closure? I'm making a deal here. All these desperate deals. There's nothing genuine about that. It's insulting to the nth degree in there because you don't see your epiphany in that moment, right? You're ready to go full bore ahead. And if that guy hadn't appeared, that train and that shit show train would have rolled on at the same speed, if not increasing speed going forward. And I believe that from the bottom of my heart. It had not that guy gotten a link and come on and had been posting pictures and things like that he would still be terminated today, but the modus operandi would still be the same.
Yeah.
On that, and that's the bottom line. So we'll go wherever you want. I can talk to specifics of August 22nd or whatever you want. And
let's talk a little bit about exactly what we were. What happened? How did he come after? Like, what did he do to try to take your channel down? Like I understand. Like, was it? The question was earlier. Was it a strike on one video? Was it multiple strikes? What was it that put you over the edge? Really? Let's get into this.
Yeah, we'll get into this, and just get a little teeny tiny bit of background here about copyright.
Okay.
Recently, if you're a partner on YouTube, you have a new tab that's on your Creator Studio page that says copyright. And if you click on that, it is YouTube's automated system's best guess at people that are using your copyrighted content. Okay. And it
I didn't even see that yet. Yeah, I didn't even see it.
Online, I've shown people before their stuff gone down to back to 2013, but I don't like anybody on it. Some things have almost 10,000 views in my stuff that other people uploaded on YouTube. But he must have finally had interest that day and clicked on that tab and saw that there were 129 people that had used his copyright content on there. Now, a further warning that YouTube gives you is that this is an automated. This is artificial intelligence that's doing this. And because it is artificial intelligence and it's really a beta program, you have to be damn careful to review these potential matches before you take action on them. In other words, you can't just click 129 boxes and say, let's wield the royal scepter and
Yeah.
let's go down the line and start taking some people out, because the big risk is if you don't properly review the content. And I think most people that got caught with the copyright did use his actual content or things and things like that. But in my particular case, back last summer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we would do various streams all on our Great Lakes tour of 2019. We did a ton of streams. We'd stream Detroit. We'd stream Chicago. We'd go to hoods. We'd do all kinds of things.
I saw all of it. Yep.
Something appeared on his copyright match page. It was called Milwaukee, the Good and the Hood. Let's roll. Okay. It was a live stream in Milwaukee where we went to one of the rougher areas of Milwaukee.
Right.
For some reason, it's unknown to me. This particular live stream and a certain segment of it showed up on his copyright match as a potential, and I stress potential, copyright infringement. Now, if it had been you or me, Four Scores, we would have looked at that and said, hey, that's Rosie's stream.
Right.
I can't strike something that's Rosie's.
Yes.
Even though I'm in the vehicle, I'm driving with Rosie, she's driving the van, and maybe I'm talking, maybe I got out to take a whiz for 5 minutes or something, and he's talking to the camera and below me. But for whatever reason, YouTube's artificial intelligence falsely tags this as a potential copyright infringement. So instead of doing what you or I or 99% of the people would have done out there and think, I can't strike this. This is not my live stream. This is Rosie's live stream here. He goes ahead and he lays a copyright strike. Now, remember, you have two choices. You can either give a 7-day takedown notice, right, which would be the gentlemanly or ladylike thing to do to
give time. You're right, correct.
Time, right? Do we really want to give out strikes on YouTube? And I'm never, my mind's never gone in that direction. You know what I mean? If you can't take the heat, get the hell out. You know,
that's right. Yep.
Being called Herman or whatever, who cares? It's all parody. It's all fun on shits and giggles.
You let trolling roll off you. You're a pro. I'm going to tell you right now.
I don't know if I'm a pro. I'm probably stupid or just don't have.
No, you're a professional. And what I mean by pro is you are a pro. You are a pro. You're just a pro at taking trolls, redirecting their momentum, and then they fizzle into nothing.
You're very kind. You're very.
No, I use the same tactic because I learned from you. Do I not come into your late night baking streams and you give me little hints live in front of when there's only 40 or 50 people? A lot of people don't know about Rosie Murphy, and she's got more than one channel, folks. So
you're very kind. I don't want to make this. You're too kind to me.
Get hell out of here! I can do what I want. No, go ahead, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying that it's interesting.
I was raised rough and tumble in Baltimore and stuff, and slapped around and street life and things where, well, I hate to say it, you got labeled a pussy if you you went crying to authority and wah.
Oh yeah.
You just take your licks and you earn respect, and that's it.
We ain't snitches. Yeah.
A lot of people things that people parody and say are true anyway. So you got to be grabbed by the scruff of the neck and face yourself sometimes. This is how some people see you on YouTube. Yeah, sometimes you're a douchebag. You might as well take a good hard look at yourself. That's what I'm meaning is there's something there. There's usually a there. It's not random crap that people do on YouTube. So I woke up that morning on the 22nd, and I'm waking up to a whole lit up Gmail. It's like, copyright has been put on this. Dear Rosie O Kelly, the following video has been removed from YouTube, copyright, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking down a little further, and then I see that this guy, instead of one channel with one strike on my own video, this guy copies that link of where that video is, and he goes on his other channels. One of them was Camper Van Elvis, and the other one was just a series of letters with underscores and that he had rapidly created and didn't even bother putting a title in. He goes in, you know how lazy he is. He goes into those other channels, and from those channels, he uses that link and pastes in and drops a manual copyright violation on me on those 2 additional channels, which automatically triggers YouTube's system. And for about 3 minutes, I received a termination notice.
Ooh.
On my channel. Okay.
My heart would have been going, "What the hell?"
Well, you know, this is the caliber of the guy that you're dealing with. This is the insane person that you're dealing with here. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to think about things. I'm in Reno, you know, I'm trying to do my content, and now I've got this crap on me. My foot is inflamed. I'm feeling like hell. Thank God I got a miracle in Reno, but I've had to think, how am I going to get out from under this? Well, luckily within a couple minutes, YouTube, it wasn't terminated. Their computer must have seen it. Wow, this is a really thing. This is almost unprecedented.
Yeah.
That somebody would take a bot suggested copyright infringement and then copy the link to that and try to strike from channels that had no standing to strike that because YouTube didn't know.
Yeah.
Or as they knew, it was 3 different channels that all were laying copyright. Laying copyright things out. I was stunned. Now, how do you begin to grab a shovel and dig your way out from that?
Yeah.
And it was at that moment in time, I thought if somebody could go this low, if I ever get out of this situation with this, if I ever get this reversed, I'm going hell bent on removing your channel from YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I took time. I drafted a well-composed series of, I didn't even put that part of the thing on today. I drafted a well-composed series of letters to emails to YouTube detailing channels, leading them. You have to put crumbs on the ground to lead, like Hansel and Gretel. You got to lead YouTube. You can't just say something, right? You got to lead them a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to have links because they're not going to waste their time reading reading War and Peace to get to the deal. Okay.
Agreed.
I told them what this guy had attempted to do to me using multiple channels, which didn't have any standing to bring a copyright matter at all. Right. YouTube replied to me that this was something that was rather unprecedented to them to see. Somebody that would so violate the YouTube terms and conditions that they would pony up fake copyright strikes on somebody. And they said, you know what, we're going to investigate this. We're going to get back to you. In the meantime, I put a counter notification on the first strike that came in on the Elvis Travels channel. And, I'd put my name, legal name, all the address, I didn't care. Everybody knows who I am, where I live. All that information out. And then they accepted the counter notification. And then they say, well, if you don't provide legal proof, if Elvis Travels channel doesn't provide legal proof that you're going to court, then in the next 10 days, the strike will be reversed. Well, he must have taken out his pack of Crayola crayons and put some simple thing that I'm going to court. Some simple, stupid thing like I'm going to court or something like that.
Yeah.
I had to wait for that to roll off that strike, and it eventually rolled off. But there were the 2 other the attempts to strike behind that each had to be individually fought through the system till finally I got the total reversal on everything up to that point. But my monetization was severely affected. It was one of the reasons I decided to go back to work. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. There is demand for the services that I do have. I'm just a paper pusher. Okay, but I know how to work rapidly and push paper. I'm nobody in the world but they have me back at any time. But I finally decided, hey, this YouTube's never going to pan out for making money on.
Thank you, Jackie Blue, so much. You don't need to do that. Thank you. No problem. And thank Rosie for it. You know, Rosie. Rosie and I have always gotten along, and I've always been a vault here. You can take it or leave it. Actions speak louder than words, and trust is earned and gained. It's not just given. Rosie's known me for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
She told me stuff I won't. Sorry, it's private, and I can talk to one of her friends. I can talk to Mr. Z about something, but between Mr. Z and me, that's private. So I keep things private. So
they're absolutely the people that are absolutely golden. Kitten Kat certainly proved herself to be one in my himself or herself.
Well, them and I go back and forth trolling each other. But
yeah,
that's
okay.
all right.
You know, but you've always been demonstrably a person that if you tell something in confidence, it's going to go down with the ship.
Oh yeah, it goes down with the ship, and that doesn't stop it. If that doesn't stop with me, Rosie, that doesn't stop just if we would have a falling out or something like that. That's where it's not when you're friends and you hold a secret. It's when there's a falling out from that friendship and you hold that secret. That's what so many people out here use as a weapon to get more views, because that's how big views are. That's how big, and views, it always comes down to views. Let's be honest, Rosie. Are views important? We wouldn't have channels here speaking our minds if we didn't want people to view us.
Well, we're supposed to be entertainment, right? You're supposed to be driving views. You're supposed to be entertaining people. Views are just a consequence of how entertaining you are, negatively or positively. But over the long term, YouTube does not reward negative entertainment.
No, they don't.
You set yourself up for termination and other things. So I really, I decided at that time that hell with it. I'm going to continue working. I'm going to go back to work. I thought this would be a nice little bridge thing till I hit 65, a few dollars.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a false hope. It's just demonetization is it's bullshit on YouTube. And you know, I don't know. You know, I lost a lot of heart. I had a hangout last night, and people could tell I was a little down in the dumps about how psychotic and frantic some people get about YouTube, and it almost reaches the point of being scary. But I'll continue on with what the heck happened. So I eventually, by about September, I guess 8th. After alerting YouTube that there was some glitch, the strikes were supposed to be removed, I get a Gmail back from them saying, yeah, we took care of it. You're good to go. There's no strikes on your channel. And I might say also in 7.5, almost 8 years, I've never had a copyright strike on my channel of any kind. And that probably worked in my favor because I'd like to make my own original content and do stuff on YouTube. But that was all well and good. And you know, we can talk about a young appearing person in a band, and I need to be careful because I am somewhat of a public figure. I don't want to, as we talked about before, I don't want to make any accusations of anything.
Of course.
It deals with receipts. Unless I have definitive proof of something, I'm not going to idly speculate about things. But we can say, as Tucker used to famously say, the optics of the situation don't look good. You know, when you pull up. Okay, and I will just say that. Now, many people are of the belief that would result in termination. Maybe not. But I will tell you, when YouTube writes back to you on copyright things and tells you this is a very novel and unusual thing that I don't know if it was rarely seen on YouTube, you better believe that they're going to take some action, and they're not going to just give the person a pat on the hand. They're going to say, man, you are so abusive of the copyright system that you're a menace to people on YouTube. You are literally a legal menace. You're a loose cannon on deck. If you can't even tell that a live stream is not yours, and you're going, you know what I'm saying? You're a loose cannon on the deck of YouTube. And
well, you know, that's what they do. Some people will do this, Rosie. Now a new tactic is, since with all the with the new different with Google Hangouts being gone and whatever. So now people are taking like StreamYard hangouts and Zoom hangouts, and they're just cropping out certain sections, and they're copywriting the people on their own video, but
Right.
saying it's because it's them on panel. They'll have their enemy on panel. They'll have a falling out, and that person that had the falling out will come back, have that recorded, and try to go after that person, and it's working. So.
Yeah.
To know people, and this is what Rosie's talking about, folks. So to know people is everything. It's a lot of times, unfortunately, in life, it's who you know. But yeah, go ahead. It's all right.
I'm looking at Blue Waffles, and he says there's no proof that underage or anything happened. That's why I don't venture into that terrain. Okay, it's not for me. It's not for me to say. It's not germane to me. In other words, it doesn't affect me and what I'm doing in my life. So let nature take its course. We can argue that and whether it was or whether it was not, but there was this smoking gun of copyright crap that he had done on a channel that almost immediately was able to prove this was my own content, and with full malicious intent, he went after 128 other things in the hopes of having people terminated too. And at the end of the day, I really believe that a lot of his copyright claims were legitimate. But when it came to my claim, he made a terrific mistake, not in so much as claiming that he could probably almost have gotten away with the match or whatever. He would have had to show that he was going to go to court, which, like I said, he probably took some Crayola crayons and said, I'm going to court, see you there. I'm going to get my Assyrian. And YouTube probably laughed. They reversed that. But having then two other channels behind that, Camper Van Elvis, and then the ridiculous underline underscore Y2Z channel strike the video also, because he knew you'd need multiple strikes to take out a channel, was that I think was his undoing. And a scam or deceptive behavior is one of those things that one incident happening can take you out of can take you off of YouTube. That's one of the big things that
you were talking about that, I believe, last week about normally it's a typical 3 strikes, but now there are some instances where they just see it and they will take one chop and they take it right down.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different.
Then we get to part 2, and we got.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Go ahead.
Okay, so his channel goes down. I'm not surprised. It's September 7th. I had to laugh at the irony of Labor Day gets taken down, which is a day that honors the workforce of America.
Right.
Sorry, we got fire stuff going on here. And I thought that was very ironic that on September 7th, Labor Day, the channel was terminated. Now, I knew very good and well, as many of you did too, that there would be an attempt like Napoleon to have that 100 days and come back and have the reconquest. I also knew that there would be a Waterloo Day where, much like Napoleon was defeated by Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo, hung by a thread, but he won, that he would be terminated a second time. But it takes, if you're reporting into YouTube and they don't have automatic cross connections between channels, because this was not, he obviously had somebody else's channel in monetization that he took over.
Right.
Therefore, when you guys flag that, YouTube is kicking back those flags. They're not telling you, but they're not acting upon them because the linkage is not correct in what you're claiming with your flagging. The computer just doesn't put it together. They have automatic intelligence that investigates this linkage. So, in my opinion, it took getting the attention of YouTube and a human being to sort through this rat's nest of subterfuge and cheating to uncover what was going on in there. And I will tell you that the first 8, I wrote a total of 21 or 22 emails over about 3 weeks or so. The first 8 times that I wrote them, I get a lot of the standard blah, blah, blah. canned replies from YouTube. Thanks for bringing this to attention. If you think this is going on, then please just flag and we'll look into it. On the ninth time that I wrote down, I finally got somebody named Derek, who came on, and I was like, this guy took the hook, and he said, hey, okay, I'm going to look into this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the lesson? You got to be damn persistent. And I went on and I presented more information to them. More links that people sent me about the whole catalog of this guy's things. And I think the whole composite thing was pretty easy to put together at that time and resulted in his termination. Now,
right.
if you look at the last Gmail that I sent out to YouTube today, I asked Derek to please keep this thread open so that when and if Napoleon attempts to rise again from imprisonment on the island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, it can be a little more rapid this time, removing the channel.
Yeah.
So we will see. Tara says, did Rosie ever feel like he was a predator? If that was said, I may have missed it. Well, there were only two points of attention for waking hours, which was sexual gratification and food. They were the two big daily drivers.
Wait. Did you catch him masturbating a lot?
No. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just saying. No, I'm asking you.
His focus wouldn't be, let's see the culture of Mexico, or let's. I don't like misogyny. I don't like women being degraded. And
hell no.
It's so.
And that was one of his things, though, Rosie. And that's one thing I'll call you on it. I don't care for friends. People were questioning me for years. This son of a bitch is so mean to women, and you're such a stand-up advocate for women, and it's like they didn't understand it. And I think there's that bridge, that fine line you were talking about, which even makes it.
I guess if somebody's young then I give a little bit of a pass for stupidity. You know what I mean? Like as we get older, hopefully we learn that the value of women and the value of women's design. Plus, he's been fed all of that nonsense about MGTOW, which is men grabbing their own wieners. That whole false philosophy of men going their own way. I call it men grabbing their own wieners. Drury did a lot to inculcate that that belief into him that all a woman wants to do is use you for a meal ticket, that there could never be any real love there. So you never want to put any emotional skin in the game. You just want to hit it and quit it and be gone at that point in time. And that was so I refused to go along with a lot of that stuff. And there's a lot of backstory that hasn't been told in Mexico yet, because I'm not a tattletale about things.
Of course, yeah.
Just because I'm there doesn't mean I have an inclination to participate. My inclination is to get videos, do videography, live streams, enjoy the culture, appreciate the people.
Yeah.
As Chairman Mao famously said, women hold up half the sky, and it's very, very, very true. And he helped bust China out of a feudal society, a paternalistic society where women were treated like second-class citizens.
Yeah.
And the advent of communism, like it or not, women were instantly elevated to equality with men, which was much appreciated by women. Hey, look, a woman can be your greatest friend, your greatest lover, or she can be your greatest adversary on planet Earth. It's up to you how you shape her. You know what I'm saying? Your demeanor, the way you interact with her, the respect level that you bring to her. And when you're coming on streams and telling somebody, and Holly Undead is a friend of mine, we don't have too much.
Oh yeah,
kind of gone my own way, but I love Holly to pieces. She's a fun gal. She has a lot of good spirit. I hope we can do a stream house one day. But when you're talking about working the butt and mouth, and you're starting to make anti-Semitic claims on somebody's nose, and garlic bagel eating, and we can't, there can't be any place for that on the realm of YouTube, that degradation of women, no matter what the shock value of that is. So
Yeah.
today, I think all of our wishes were answered when we got up. There'll be other people that falsely claim. There's one guy that claims that he incorporated a licensed limited corporation with the name of Elvis Trap. There's no way that something like that would root through the legal system of
Yeah.
YouTube. It would take months.
Yeah, especially now, right now, that would take a lot more than months, I
Oh
think.
my God, that would take months to route through the legal department, and good luck, Chuck, on that. But
Oh, my Lord.
that's the kind of, there's various low lifes on YouTube that are thirsty for attention and things of that nature. But it's almost comical and things, because when people think about the slow snail, and I've used the analogy of the tortoise. Last week I talked about the tortoise and the hare. You can
Yeah.
be out there yelling, "Woo! I'm what's best for business." Meanwhile, I'm the turtle. I'm just plodding along, writing my Gmails back and forth, and the hare sprinting ahead towards the finish line. But he does the victory dance a little too soon. You know what I'm saying? It's like score when you're heading to the end zone and you prematurely slow down before you get to the end zone, and the safety comes behind you and slaps the ball out of your hand
Yeah.
before you cross the goal. Then the coach is yelling at you for the rest of the game for being an idiot.
Oh, God, I've been there. I've been there. What do you think's going to happen here? Now, obviously, he's not going to give up.
I can tell you what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do? Go ahead and enlighten us.
Every opportunity that I have to shed light on it, I'm going to do so. And I will reiterate again, I'm a person that walks away from things, but because you drew first blood and you came at me in such a shitty way to try to terminate my channel in one fell swoop. Hey man, for the first time in my career on YouTube, the gloves came off. Okay. And I'm not the dirtiest player in the game. I'm not the smartest player in the game, but I'll tell you, I am the most doggedly determined when it comes to once I set my mind to something, because I'm used to pushing a shitload of paperwork all the time and red tape. I eat red tape by the binder full. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's nothing for me to go through all the labor of communications and back and forth and defeat until one time they take the hook. Okay, and then you're in the game. So
I don't know if Charles, I don't know if Rosie can help you with that.
I'm gonna grab something to drink for. So
Go ahead.
and then if any,
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'll look for questions if
I
anybody
wrote
has.
last night about physical assault and things like that. I even had a little bit of a tear in my eye in last night's hangout, because YouTube can reach a point where the psychosis is so deep, the mind is so degraded, and the mind becomes turned to such a mush of rage and things, that you never know what people are capable of. And I find myself getting out my firearm cleaning kit here and doing my own thing with my Beretta 92 FS 9mm. I'll be back in a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Let me go over to the YouTube side. And I've been modding people, but you guys know it doesn't work. But thank you for everybody for coming in. Hello, Burger. Sister Earth, great to see you again. Aloha, Colleen. Waffles. Layler. Jacques Bleu. Sean the Brit. I see you, Nicole. And the counselor, run around, Machiche. Quinny. Yes. Jen. Yeah, Rosie, I texted her. I don't know when I text her. I text her like a month ago. And I was on, I was on a panel or something like that. And I'm like, I heard about Elvis's channel getting taken down, the first one. And that was right after the questionable Facebook friend. And I'm like, is it that? It's got to be, but I never, there was speculation. And then I was on the hangout at night, I believe, and I'm like, I'll bet you Rosie is looking in on this, and not so much for the Facebook friend, just overall, because there's always shenanigans going on over there.
Well, you knew I'd been pursuing it for quite a while because I don't like to speak out of my ass and claim things that I can't show receipts for. So I showed you intermediary receipts along the way, you and Kitten Cat, that proved that the game's afoot, as Sherlock Holmes said. Okay, the things are going on. But the thing that people got to realize is YouTube has 40 million channels that they've got to be on top of. At any given time, maybe 4,000 need attention on a daily basis because of terminations, appeals, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a long, long time for the wheels of YouTube justice to grind, but they do grind. But they just grind exceedingly slowly on here. Now, what the best thing to do, if you do lose a channel and you do want to attempt to get it back in 2020, the best thing you can do is, and this is the big mistake, was if it gets terminated, the best thing that you can do is walk away for 90 days or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't start another channel. Okay? Take a vacation to the Bahamas or Bermuda. And then start petitioning, on a weekly basis to bring that channel back. And there's a 50-50 chance that channel might come back. Mine always did. But the thing is, if you immediately begin another channel and people are able to connect that to YouTube, then now you've lost your right to bring the original channel. Now you've knocked down another domino in the series. And there's no way that the original channel will be brought back because you further violated YouTube's terms and conditions by starting another YouTube channel in direct violation to YouTube's terms and conditions. So will the original channel ever come back? No, there's no chance now that channel would ever come back due to multiple termination violations on the part of that channul.
Okay, so what about Booger wanted to ask, do the people that also get struck get reinstated?
Well, could you repeat that again?
Booger said, do the people that also got struck get reinstated? I guess like if someone strikes you and you strike back to...
I think some of those strikes, if the channel gets terminated, some of those strikes, or if the person doesn't show evidence that they're going to court, those strikes would be reversed. Yes. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I have actually, I don't know if it's a good question. So this being said, this is number 2. Let's really be. This is the second channel. So like, if he goes, he's going to make another channel. He's going to go live again, and that's what I was saying about channels. That's why I've always been told to have backup channels. I heard, and even you recommended having at least 1 to 2 backup channels in case something would happen. Rosie carries 3 main channels. I call them main channels. You know what I mean? It's all Rosie. But I have the same thing. I mean, everybody knows my other channels. Well, most people know my other channels. My question to you is, if he starts another channel and they see that mug on there, what's going to happen? What's he doing? Is he using a VPN? How do they know? How are they not stopping him from coming back this whole second time anyway?
Well, you cannot really theoretically stop people from coming back, but pretty soon you run into viable options. Now a second channel has impacted AdSense, whether it's his or somebody else. Now you have another broken leg, so to speak, in your you've taken some big hits here on AdSenses and things that are now disconnected. You run out of bank linkage to get things done, and you might use a family member. But let's put it this way. If you're in a position where I am, where I have demonstrated to people that I do have the entree to YouTube and I do have the ear of YouTube, and I'm willing to put the breadcrumbs down there like Hansel and Gretel for them to follow, they will follow those breadcrumbs. You're doing their work for them. Okay. So, you know, you take somebody that has an enormous ego like that, and how undercover can they be comfortable staying without
Yeah.
revealing themselves? So it's it's you can't change your basic nature. Okay,
It's
so
like having a YouTube warrant.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, you can get out there,
right,
but I mean, you still got to walk because you always got to be looking over your YouTube shoulder, I guess.
yeah.
Uh,
So trust me, it's not impossible. You just have to do the work for them, and you have to be very patient. Now, getting monetized becomes more problematic. And as I demonstrated on one of my screenshots of my Gmail from YouTube, they said, don't even worry about monetization. It's not even important.
yeah.
We're just investigating the channel, and then the monetization goes bye-bye anyway. So you start to run out of viable options of people that you can use and social security numbers and things like that. Now you're tying other people into your potential tax situation, and it becomes a social security. And I mean, really?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Okay, so this greed, I'm going to ask, I'm only going to get into this area one really small time. Um, he stayed there for months. And I know you're classy and you're not the type to throw dirt when a man's down. However, I want to know, are his real life habits, how, I want to know, I'm asking you as a friend right now to tell me, forget the 200 people in there, I want to know, is he at all a good human being? Is he the same? How far off from his YouTube channel is he in real life? Because people, there's a percentage. There's a percentage. And I want to know.
I don't want to be dishonest. I want to be honest about things. And at times he could be a good person and a fun person and a good person to hang with. But it was a very shallow surface. And at every point you would scratch slightly and you would find YouTube and the dirtiest player in the game right underneath of that. How much is his real life mirror YouTube?
Yeah.
And his habits and things. As Narse used to tell me that he would go to great pains, and I saw this myself over the years to, what would I say, accentuate or attenuate his idiosyncrasies, meaning if he's eating or doing a food review, most times when the camera wasn't rolling, he would eat like a normal human being and wouldn't smack his lips. Would basically eat rather cleanly, but then once the camera would be on, then it would be to put the biggest show on to ensure that people would be talking about that eating episode that night on various other channels, which they did. They responded very well to that. So
Yeah.
he fed off of that thing. The purchase of the pink, I don't know, they look like Hillary Clinton pantsuits or something.
The capri suits?
I don't know what the hell it is. Okay. You know, I know if I'd worn that in my neighborhood growing up, I would have probably been murdered. So I'm just.
Oh, God. That's why my aunt, who's 75, almost 80 years old, wears to church. You know what I'm saying? That's just the realism of it. So.
I mean, I just, I would have been murdered or just be within an inch of my life. But all of that is contrived to drive talking points and things like that. So, but I will say this, Score, by August of 2020, he had really come to the end of the line in terms of content. His channel, I had thought that Dave bought him 1,000 subs because he jumped from 8,046 to 9,046 or something in a day. I really thought because Dave would be goofing around with MFD, mockery, fuckery, and debauchery and do that kind of stuff. But other than that, YouTube had shadow banned him. They had stopped allowing his channel to be promoted. He didn't grow at all. The subscriber growth collapsed to almost zero. The views were going down. He didn't have any message that anybody. His channel was in a death spiral.
Yeah.
So to offset and fight that, he got those magnetic stickers and put them on the side of the van again, and then the whole methodology became to be as controversial and as outlandish as possible, moving forward till you get to the point where maybe you do put somebody, a Facebook friend, that you should not have put that on camera. You know, you take bigger and greater risks. You buy the pink pantsuits or whatever that you wear, and that you basically make yourself a clown for trying to re-stimulate channel growth. So
Yeah.
But a lot of it was theater. To answer your question, for a lot of that was a theatrical twist that was added to that. But in real life, as you know, there is that drive towards, meeting people. And if he says, the other thing that really rankled me is he couldn't be genuine about his orientation, his sexual orientation. So you didn't do any favors. He would say,
well, he's bisexual, isn't he?
Yeah, you would have.
Who cares?
Well,
who cares?
And then the other night he's on panel and on Street Lights, and somebody asked him point blank, "Are you, do you like men?" And he's like, "No, I like women." I'm just like, oh man, And then on the other hand, you're telling how you stand up for the LGBT. You're bitching that other people don't stand up for the LGBTQ community, and when you're a denier like that, you're slapping them right in the face.
Yeah.
Okay? And it also makes everything else that you say, that's the wellspring of all lies right there. If you can lie about that, you can lie about anything. So,
well, okay, here's our probably one of the greatest of Elvis's trolls that ever will be. Joe King, the great Joe King, asked if she thinks Elbo will get the super chat his sister Norm gave her.
No. Your any earnings are immediately your account, your balance goes to zero. Nor do I believe he was paid for his AdSense for the month of August that he claimed he got paid out. If it was paid out, it was any AdSense that was collected on that new channel that he had commandeered, not of his own efforts from the terminated channel. So YouTube doesn't work like that. Your AdSense balance automatically goes to zero. Like for me right now, I'm not monetized right now on my channel because of all this crap that's come down and working through this stuff with YouTube. It's a bloody mess. It takes a long time to straighten out.
It does. I mean, and I mean, even like Rosie told me, we were going to set this up for even almost 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, but there was just different things going on, and it's like whatever. We'll just wait until
I wanted to make sure we'd have a complete story to tell. So
exactly,
I know people were starting to doubt if I really had anything in the works or not. So I tried to at least put a receipt your way along the way to show you. And also, to Kit and Kat, just to show some proof that I'm not talking about it my ass, but just be patient. There are things that are in the works here. How much do you think he has? I have no idea. I have no idea how much he has at the.
Nicole, say something. I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna say it right now because I'm good friends with Nicole and and Rosie. We've been friends for almost 2 years. Nicole and Rosie used to be great, and Elvis. I'm sorry. This is the type of thing I'm talking about. I'm not getting into details, but it's like people drive wedges between people, and then people react in certain ways, and then they have falling outs, and I hate seeing it. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it right now. Hey, Mommy and T. And I don't. That one really irks me. That relationship there. And it's not my business, but it is because because it's like I don't. It's like 2 pounds of butter in the room, and like refrigerated butter. I can't cut through it.
Well, she came along when he came to the rancho, and her statement to me was that I'm not going to come around when he is there on the rancho. And despite the assertion that she would not come around, she would show up on live streams and ask me, how's the pink pig or whatever, how's your pet pig doing, and things like that. In other words, she could not stay away from the live streams. And then one night he was talking about sex or what he would do with Nicole, and she wanted to come up on the channel, but I didn't want to have a shit show at that time, and I told him to shut up and don't talk anymore. Don't talk anymore about it. And Nicole wanted to come up and
yeah, I understand.
with him, but I don't run the shit show. And she said at that point that she would go her own separate way, which she did.
I understand.
Things are okay. But if somebody tells you I'm not going to come around, and then they come around, I don't know what to do.
And Nicole and Rosie, I'm not, and I'm sorry, I'm not bringing it up for drama. It legitimately upsets me, and I don't
even know how in the hell to bring somebody on a channel, on a panel chat anyway.
I mean, I don't know. I just
on a panel chat, so I just told him, shut the hell up, stop talking about it, and let's just move ahead with the. I got nothing against Nicole. She was a good friend of mine here, and I will also apologize to her right now. As in the beginning today, I gave a blanket apology to those people who heard.
Yeah, I know.
And I will apologize again directly to Nicole and wish you the very best on your culinary career and things like that.
But that's not why I said it. I'm talking friends. That's the only reason. I'm just it sucks.
I've always had a lot of love and admiration. I've considered like a daughter and things like that. But it is because of Elvis and things like that. And so I'm apologizing to her, and I'm saying I'm very, very sorry from the bottom of my heart that came between us, because I think that you're a great person. You got a great head on your shoulders. I've never taken swipes at you in chats or anything. I just went on my way. But I do admire your cooking skills, your drive to become a chef and things. I think that's a wonderful thing.
Something Elvis could learn from.
Well, that's work.
You know, it's work, and he doesn't understand.
Yeah, she works. So, she works. He doesn't. And simple story. But that is my direct apology to Nicole here, so that she understands.
I didn't bring it up for that. You know that.
She's a good person.
I know she is. She's great, and she's a good friend of mine. And I
want to have a shit show on my panel and just.
I understand that.
Go from bad to worse, because those days were done. The Rosie Springer show, and I couldn't stare down another one of those. Situation. So do I feel bad about it? Of course I feel bad about it.
We all lose people here. It sucks. You know what I mean? Like you ever get those people that are in
there? Colleen, I do not believe that was the real Zaya that threatened you on the stream. I think it was a troll one, because you had mentioned you worked quite a while to put a legal package together for YouTube, and they didn't do anything about it. And I kind of thought if you had the real definitive proof and links and things that, because you had believed also that if somebody had a PayPal link in their channel, that it must be the real person. Anybody can copy and paste anything and put it into their fake channels and things. And I know you were relatively new to YouTube at that time, and I don't think you'd seen all the hijinks and all the bullshit that can go on down here on YouTube. Having said that, are you an honorable person? Yes, you are. Are you a kind person? Yes, you are. But I think at that moment in time, somebody flim-flammed you on that account. One of the reasons being is it's too easy to do on YouTube. But that's just the way I feel about it. At the end of the day, I could be wrong. And when that's the case, I apologize to you about that. But that was my own honest reading on that situation. But did I take that opportunity to bash you and degrade and to call names? No, because you had been kind to me. But I am allowed to have, a bit of a difference of opinion about things. And I think we handled that the right way. And I think that's the right way to go about that. So,
all right.
And I like you. I always liked you. I had fun with you. We had laughs. And
I think it was just hurt. it was friend, like, just, you know how this platform is, man.
Yeah, and she has a good show. She has a good following. She has a great personality. She
I
lives.
can tell you care about it because I can tell you care about it because you
I
keep
do care. I do
because
care.
you're talking about it still, and that's fine. But I'm saying I'm making a point. So I'm saying, like, I only brought it up because it really bothers me, and I wasn't, and this is something that is already known. Like, you know what I mean? That you got not around each other anymore. But it's like that's the type of thing I'm talking about. And here, like, everybody's got dirt on their hands here, and this isn't even about what we're talking about. But I'm saying, people, there's two ways you can go. You can move on about it, or you can kind of
Or also issue some heartfelt apologies to people.
exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry
And I've done it too.
that things came down. And I think that's the hardest thing to people can say on YouTube is I'm sorry, and not make it conditional. If I offended you or if I did this, then I'm sorry. No, it's just like I am sorry. I apologize for that. Okay, no couching, no conditional if then, just straight up, right there.
I hear you. I hear you.
Hunter says, Rosie, will you ever give Elbow another up? No, never. No, it's been too many. Things have been
Oh,
going too good for me since he's been out of my life. It's been great.
yeah.
You go so far, and then there's really that there's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. So that's the reality. That's the reality of that. So.
All right, let's go ahead. Nicole says you hurt my soul, Rosie.
Yeah.
That is. You
Yeah.
can see.
So, yeah, like I'm saying.
And I'm not trying to drag it out here, guys. I did not even mean to. I'm just. I had to say something because Nicole knows why. Because we've talked in private about it. And I'm like, well, there's stuff going on, and I've always she's very well aware of me being friends with you, and I take up for you all the time. But she doesn't bash you either, never has, and it's just she's gone her own way, and I don't.
I thought she had a very mature philosophy of just don't come around when he's here, and
she does, yeah.
And then she was popping up, and for the most part, I kind of let it go and things, and that's fine. Should I have handled it differently? And there's a lot of love in my heart for her. But that night, I did not want to have a shit show, and I put the clamps on Elvis' mouth and moved forward. If she'd come up, it would have been probably just an out-and-out screaming match. And I verbalized at that moment to Elvis that shut your face. You got no idea what you're talking about. So, I am apologizing for that and putting that out there.
I know you are. I know.
And that's from the heart. There's nothing I still follow Nicole. I still watch her moving forward with her cooking school and things. I'm not going to stop following somebody. I've had an interest in her since 2013. So that's not going to stop.
I just know it's hurt her a lot, and it's not like I.
But now it's I don't know what it is. It's almost a year, I guess a year later now, you know what I mean? And it's, we've had some closure on one of those things. So hopefully this will be meaningful, this apology in that regard. Hopefully. So
if that's up to Rosie, Nicole would.
No, I'm just here to talk about this Elvis situation. I've made my apology to Nicole.
Understood.
On here, and that's from the heart. Okay, that's from the heart. So
understood. Yeah, and
I wish her all the best, and I wish her great success. I think she has the makings of being an outstanding chef and a great cook, and I think it's going to be exciting to see what she does in the future. But I've moved past the panel and the controversy, and I don't do drama and things like that.
Of course, yeah, I get you. Yeah, but as far as Elvis, how long do you think it's going to take for him to be back trying to be live? Doesn't he have one more channel?
You tell me. If if the what would you call it? If the chicken knows that the fox is in the hen house, I mean, you tell me.
Right.
Okay? And there's a lot of foxes in the hen house right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
there is. Yes,
is
yes, there
is
is.
he capable of subterfuge? Of course, but as long as I connect the dots for YouTube with the dropping the little breadcrumbs and things for YouTube, they will follow that trail. And
Yeah.
okay, so I can't predict what people would do, but I can tell you this: at the end of the day, at your age, there's a difference between being, I don't know, what is he, 48 years old or something, whatever it is, and
He says, I got the first impression I got with him. He said he was 38 or 37, and then he said he was 38 like 3 months later. But
well,
or
whatever.
no, it was reversed. I'm sorry. It was
I mean, at the end of the day, he if I was him, I'd take the opportunity to really get a job and build something towards your retirement and your future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
At my age, at 62, it would hardly seem to matter because I did my 46 years in the working world and got all my ducks in a row, and I've even reached the point now because of a crushing health insurance bill and the ridiculous way YouTube, forget monetization, it's a joke, that I've gone back into the workforce
Yeah.
again and am working again. So
Yes, she is. I can vouch for that. Sorry, Rosie, but I can vouch for you. She was texting me. Actually, that's why we were going to go live earlier, but she was still at work. And
I'm at work, yeah.
that's right. I can vouch for it. So yeah,
So
thank you. Thank you.
I
Next.
would take that as an opportunity. You may eventually see this as a gift someday to. You may look back if you get yourself established in a job and get the dignity and get the feedback that entails monetarily and other things. That may change you in a positive way that you can live a more healthy lifestyle and things and have a greater appreciation of what it takes to earn a buck and to be a ham and egger and things like that. So,
See, Rosie, my people like when I use ham and egg. And I let them know. Yes, Rosie
oh
also
God,
uses that.
Leanie, I love that. Leanie says, "I must confess, I sent a case of butter beans to the."
Thank you, Lady Rosie. That's great.
Holy hell!
Uh,
Oh, jeez.
I remember that somebody sent Rosie a case of butter beans, and did you know it? You never knew who it was
No,
until
I
now.
never knew.
Oh
I
my
never
God,
knew who it was.
that's
Before that,
great.
Who is the person that sends 4 cases of Granger catalogs every week here? Okay, who
I
was
was.
that?
Oh my God, I don't know who that was. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff that comes down, but I can't predict what the future will be, but I can predict what my reaction to the future will be. And I'm very blessed that I've got a channel. It'll never make any money, but I'm blessed I got a
Right.
channel that at least gives me a little entree into YouTube where you have a human being that will talk to you. And I'm very appreciative. I don't think we'd be where we are today if it was just flagging and things, because the linkage between the old channel and the new channel is not established enough by artificial intelligence to just automatically terminate a channel and things like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I always say, there's so much war out here, so much beefage. It's been bad. Like it wasn't bad when you first started.
no,
I
no.
was gonna say it was nowhere near as what it.
I always remember Nicole talking about how great YouTube is before we had. We would have private Google that your Hangouts didn't go over to public; they would just disappear at the end of the Hangout.
Yeah.
And she was forever talking about how great YouTube was at that time. We would just comment on each other's videos, and we would have Google Hangouts, and they would just disappear. When we had a lot of great friends that always hung out. Then when the Hangouts went live on YouTube, the complexion of YouTube really started to change over time to to being more of a social media platform as opposed to a video sharing platform, and
Yeah.
that's been a big sweep. And she was exactly correct to identify that era that was the happy times. Now people have become better at swatting, having SWATs called in on people, and CPS and adult protective service. In other words, many more people are willing to take it to real life. In the old days, that would have been unthinkable to take
I
it
just watched your video
to real life.
from a while ago about when you got swatted, and when people were talking about, like, I watched that whole. I went back like
Yeah, I had
3 days ago.
some of my friends that denied. One of them even called me an effing liar on a live stream that came down, and it's only until I showed the proof of conviction and now the sentencing coming up in November that
Okay.
I don't put out stuff that's bullshit. I bring receipts for things that for things that I say on here.
You gotta think before you speak, and then and
Thank you, Sister Earth. So once again, apologies at the places that I've been, the many points that I've been wrong on YouTube with individuals and things. But I think we all came together for a common purpose here, and I think that was a good thing on YouTube. And this misogyny, this hatred of women, this MGTOW, this poison, this MGTOW, all these things that contribute to what would I say, an aberrant sort of psychology in some people's minds. Things like that. So.
All right, I want to get a little bit into real quick here.
Let me get something. I only had half a drink. Let me get my other drink.
Well, get a drink real quick, and I want to get in just to a small portion of the next segment here, folks. And as we roll into the next segment, I'm going to leave you with one of my pre-made, self-edited commercials. I hope you enjoy it, and let's take a look at that.
My name is John. I don't like a beer intended for ladies. I like a light beer, brewed for men. Discover a light beer, brewed for men.
My name is George. I don't like a beer intended for ladies. I like a light beer, brewed for men.
Brewed for men.
My name is Rita. I don't like a beer intended for ladies. I like a light beer brewed for men. Discover a light beer brewed for men.
Damn, that's funny as hell, man.
There you go. I just take vintage commercials that are like 2 minutes long, and I scrunch them down to 30 seconds.
That's some funny stuff right there. Funny
Thank
crap.
you. Yes, I would say, I don't want to keep you all day. I'm chilling.
No, I got no place I got to be. I did my work hours today.
Good.
I put my time on making widgets today, so I'm all good. So whatever you want to ask or whatever anybody.
I want to know a little bit. Now listen.
Colleen, you're fine, honey. You've been through the mill a lot more than I have. I appreciate that, Colleen. So thank you.
Oh.
Let me just say to Colleen.
You do whatever you take. This is your show.
There are certain people in the community, and I'm not one of them, but she certainly is, that will see injustice in their mind, and it sparks something in their mind that they get set down a path, and they have the ability to keep rolling for months and months and a year and keep going down. And I give her a lot of credit for being that kind of person that can keep the sharp focus on something. And because she did that, she was able to cultivate contacts in the real world that would be boots on the ground and eyes on the ground to see, enough people in the world that knew her and followed her that would actually start to act like her advocates in real life. Okay, that she's largely responsible for a lot of the pressure that was brought to bear, and I applaud that. Okay, yeah. Any disagreements that we had were in a tenor of respect, but Colleen, I do appreciate that very much. Would Rosie do things differently with allowing Elvis Durancho? I would have. That's a good question. my friend Cassidy Hampton. In hindsight, would Rosie do any things differently with allowing Elvis to ranch? I would have done a much tighter work schedule. Okay. I don't ever like to be that person that is going in there hitting the trash can lid at 7:30 in the morning, but up and at him. So I let him kind of wake whenever he wanted to awake, and that would result in the band build not really getting underway until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon sometimes. And that slowed things down dramatically. I guess I would have kept a closer tab on, the length of showers. I mean, this is California. People don't take half-hour showers, okay?
Yeah, well,
We have severe water problems out here and things like that. So I guess I would have been a lot tougher with the conditions of stay. But I will say that when he did leave, he did a very good job of cleaning up the shine check. Actually, a rather remarkable job of cleanup when he did leave. I was very impressed with that.
Atta girl, Uber. This is great. I'm going to put it out there right now. I mean, we all make mistakes out here. Rosie's coming, she's offering her apologies. She's coming clean. I mean, this is not what Rosie and I talked about.
Nicole says, do I have,
yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you read that.
Nicole says, Rosie, do you have a non-responsibility thing with him to ensure she's not liable? Anything that happens to the van since she worked on it? And thank you, Nicole, because this leads into the next segment of what I want to get into right next. Go ahead, Rosie.
Yeah, I just want to say, Nicole, there's a thing called voluntary, a voluntary commitment or a voluntary relationship. When somebody knows, number one, RV work does never have to be certified. There's no standards. You don't have to be an electrician to work on electrical systems. You don't have to be a plumber. That sort of standard is non-existent on YouTube. So there's really no recourse when you willingly come to somebody's home and you've come onto their property with the intention that you're going to use their skills and their potential talents to do a restoration. In other words, you're taking on the risk of that without any hesitation whatsoever, because it would be incumbent on you to have me sign a guarantee of my work that I would give you some type of warranty on the work that was done. So right. There is no warranty implied or otherwise that was ever executed. Having said that, I do and am still involved in legal actions for counter suing on copyright and other things. And it's my goal and intention to take possession of that vehicle, if at all possible, through a court action. So I will fully disclose that, right now that there are things in the works for that. So
where was that question? Somebody wanted to know how many times a week Elbo showered. That's a harmless question.
He was actually clean when we traveled and we were on the road. We always found a way to take a daily shower. I never.
Well, you did. Did you see him physically bathe?
We would always over to the gym or something like that, and we were on the road. We always did. He took a shower here every morning. Was further length at a time before we could start working. I never had any sense of smell or anything from him. The van was atrocious. The van was a rolling plague. Okay, I'll put it that way. It was a rolling bubonic plague. Okay, I'll put it that way.
Oh Lord!
It was horrendous. The rot, the human bodily fluids that were mixed in with water.
You were trying so hard the other day to avoid just saying semen. There was cum all over that van, and you probably were the one to clean it out. Well, meanwhile, he's over there trying to trim the hedges with an automatic hedge clipper, and he can't figure out how to plug it in. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, see the video on my channel this morning is saying
Unbelievable.
definitive proof of the takedown. I actually believe that I was instrumental in termination of both of his old channel as well as this channel. His old channel, if you go back and watch Four Scores Hangout here from the beginning, you'll see the whole timeline of events that occurred and the novel thing that he tried that was almost unprecedented on YouTube. It led to a one-strike termination under scams and things like that on YouTube. So
Yeah, and there's Sig right there, Master Sig. So it wasn't Rosie that took elbow down. Yeah, as she just said, the Sig brother.
I'm the only one that has receipts that show the back and forth from YouTube. I think most people could flag until the cows came home, but they could not establish the linkage between the old channel and the new channel, nor did they understand how to properly fight his copyright striking extravaganza that happened on August 22nd. So, at least in my opinion, Sig, yeah, it was a doubleheader, and the home team won both the day game and the nightcap of the doubleheader.
Well, speaking of that, it's perfect because I want to get into. I want to know. All right, so what is your estimate? Again, rehash on it. So you worked on that van. I want to know. This is something a little bit more of a personal question to you because it's part of you. That inside, the outside, everything you did to that van. I'm sorry, but you put your heart and soul to it. You did 90% of the work. I know he was there to hold planks and stuff, and it does help to have help. People holding stuff and different things like that. It does help to have a hand there just holding things. But the bottom line is you knew all the measurements. You're the one that did all the work, all the detail, everything. Everybody knows. We all saw. So, my question to you is, over that span of time that you had worked on it, how much money would you say that whole van rebuild generally would have cost somebody?
Probably around $5,000, something on the order of that.
All right. So how much did he pay you for that van build?
I think he had about $1,000, and I believe I put $500 in just purchasing odd materials here and there.
Yes, you did, and you are absolutely telling the truth. And I was going to ask this earlier. He promised to pay you that $500 back. He promised to pay you the $500 back on one of your panels. When you were sitting right there, and he was sitting right where you are right now, he said, I'll pay you back. Yeah, I remember. So did he ever pay you that $500?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember that. Let me just check something on here.
I remember. It may not have been your panel, but it may have been his stream. I remember him saying something about that he had to pay you back or something. And I remember you saying about a $500 denomination. I'm not kidding. I'm not making it up.
I'm checking my email. I'm not seeing anything on here, honey, on that. I'm going to be totally honest with you on things too. For that, everything I asked him to do to help me, he helped me. Okay, I didn't expect him to be able to use a scribe to scribe in curves on fitting floors and things like that.
Right.
He did try to be helpful when it came to demolition and pulling out a lot of the flooring and things like that. He did work. He did the things that I asked him to do, but he does not have the skill set to be able to do electrical work or carpentry work, much less fine carpentry work. So he did, he did the things that I asked him to do. And frankly, I was glad that he was kind of clear of things because it made it easier to me if he wasn't hanging over me all the time, doing the work that I needed to do. So.
Yeah, I hear that, but at the same time, though, Rosie, as a regular, just human being trying to survive like that, wouldn't you agree that any human would at least do that? You can't just stand there and let them do everything.
Say what you will about D. When D showed up here, it looked like he kept that shine shack like it was a surgical operating room.
I'm sure D was much cleanlier.
I mean, my God, it was just like it was in better shape than I ever had it in there. You know what I mean? That's called a basic respect about being at somebody's property and not leaving your trash around to be stinky. I think his nose would be impervious to smell. You know what I mean? Maybe he could smell things or something like that. But you know, letting garbage lay around and just not neatly stacking things away, and at least trying to make the effort. I understand we're in the rainy season. You got to put your stuff in the van somewhere, right? We had the van, got it. But you can do things neatly and you can have things orderly. Like as he sprayed grease on the side of the shine shack, he pulled the sink off the wall.
What?
Bathroom.
Why did you do that? Well, wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean he sprayed grease?
He would have his teeth problem. He would lean on the sink and look at the mirror to look at his teeth, and it just his weight pulled the out of the wall. So
I didn't know that. That's great. That's fantastic. That's not fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing.
Yeah, there was a lot of cause. So it always shocked me when he left and said I was held prisoner and blah blah blah. You doxed me. You know, he got caught by J.K. NoCal down in Rohnert Park, South. And he sent me a text message. Thanks for doxing my location. I've never doxed anybody in my life.
Right. You get doxed. You're the one that gets doxed.
I've got 400 people's addresses from sending Christmas cards for years. Do you think I would ever dox any, even though some of those people hate my ever-loving guts right now, do you think that I would ever dox somebody or put their information out? Do you think I cared that Elvis was down in Rohnert Park, parked at the J.K. NoCal goes up and down Highway 101 and could see his van every single day going down to get supplies at the big box stores and things when he's working. I mean, what do you know, you know?
Yeah. I seen JK yesterday, Layla. He was in my gaming stream. The craziest people show up in my gaming streams. I don't understand it.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I mean, it's been a long road, and
that really hurt a lot. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. You put all that work in there.
I was convinced at the end of the day, and it took me a long time to rationalize it. He never liked the fact that my channel was bigger, commanded more views, and it got more attention. And I think he always saw it as some mountain, not friendship, but he saw it as some mountain that he had to climb to be able to proclaim himself the king of Boyd or something like that. Now, I don't come on and talk about how big the channel is or how many people are watching. You know, it's stupid shit. It's YouTube. We're all teeny tiny down here on Boyd, right? We're all peanuts down here. Okay.
Yep.
This guy's whole thing was he couldn't stand the fact, and I think when he left the rancho, he'd already made up his mind that he needed to regenerate interest in his channel, and he was going to go as negative as possible, as quickly as possible, so that people would come in and watch the hangouts and let's bash Rosie, and that'll be good. I was always good for views on his. Anytime you would put me or talk about me, it was always guaranteed big views. And, some of his little henchmen in and all that.
Yeah. Well, Rosie sees the question.
I never doxed Jill out to Dave the Fisherman ever. He was
old school. Old school boy question.
He was mistaken on the stream run one night when I said Des Moines, Iowa, when her and Dave were going to meet for breakfast. I never doxed out her location on YouTube, nor would I ever dox it out.
Good answer.
Bill and I are still friends. She was in my hangout. Last week. Okay.
Tasha, great job not killing Rich Life Road Trips on that meetup there. You had that evil look in your eye there. Where's the question? Oh, Blue Waffles had a great question. So Rosie, when Elbo leaned up, pulled the sink off the wall. Did he tell you, or did you have to find? That is a good question.
No, I went on. Missy Jen told me, look, I don't mind having him here, but I'm not going to be an inspector general to go out and do periodic inspections of the shine check because Missy Jen ran a really tight ship here on the rancho in terms of keeping things orderly and clean. And she liked being German at her core. She liked things that were spick and span and didn't want to
Oh yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So every month or so, I would just, I hate to do this, man, but I've got to look around. I look in the bathroom, and damn, the sink's hanging 1.5 inches away from the wall at the top, and I'm like, what the hell happened? I don't know. It just came out.
So you had to find it. Proof of the pudding right there, folks.
I got to take a day out of van rebuild to go down and get the hardware to reattach the sink to the wall and take all the plumbing off.
Oh, God.
My God. And I'm laying on the floor with all the dirt and hair and
his pubic hair and everything. God dang. And that's the thing. I want to know, what did those paper towels look like when you cleaned up the corners of that van?
Man, I don't even want to talk about it. Only just laying down there fixing that sink with all the goo on the floor and
the goo. She calls it goo. Okay, yeah, goo. It's semen. There was cum all over the floor there, Rosie, and you know it. Okay, so don't play games with me. All right, we all know that. We all know the truth. All he's in there, he's joiking off all night and day.
Yeah, I don't know. I never saw him do that, but it probably did. But I don't. I'm pretty good at minding my own business and not.
Of course.
I don't generally get involved in people's. I'm not a good spy by nature. To just,
No.
But just poor health habits and things like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus it's winter time. It's rainy, so mud's being tracked in and out of the shine shack, and that adds to the whole misery of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In the rain and trying to cut wood in the shop and going back and forth to fit it into the van. And, you shouldn't do electrical work in the water, you know what I'm saying? And standing in the water and, and all that stuff. So.
How is he around holidays? Like, what does he do? Like.
He had a good time, Janet invited him down for Thanksgiving. I was in LA for Thanksgiving, and
yes, that's right.
He seemed to enjoy his time over there. I mean, Janet's a very accommodating person. If she thinks that you're going to be alone on the holiday, she'll bite the bullet and she'll invite you to be to partake of that. And I think he had a pretty good go at that. Seemed impressed with the meal that she put down. He enjoyed Halloween here. He dressed up as.
Of course,
which I thought was pretty funny. I mean, you could put a kind of a humanizing face on them a little bit and have a little fun for Halloween. And then, Christmas time. It really hurt me when Missy Jen's birthday came on December 7th. And after he'd already been here for 2 months, he didn't even care enough to even walk up to the dollar store and pick her up a birthday card or any kind of little thing for her birthday or Christmas for anybody. So it just shows you the self-centered nature of it's all take. And,
I was gonna say, yeah, like what was I know Missy Jen, like what was their relationship like in there? I know you've answered that before, but like I know she wasn't too thrilled about him being there, but she also understood from your point of view why he was there.
Yeah. We talked about it, and she said, look, maybe we can help him out. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved in a shine check. I don't want to be a policing force. And she pretty much let us do our thing with the van build and everything out there and the kitchen stadiums and things like that. Missy Jen is an extremely easygoing person, so she kind of goes by my lead. She's like, I don't know, we're going to have SWATs here. We're going to have all people, we had people throwing over the stuff over the fence here and stream sniping. We had a lot of stuff come down here, and she's like, do we really need this? We're probably going to have some problems on the rancho here. But at the end of it all, she said, okay, well, let's give it a shot. Okay, let's give it a shot. All right, go ahead. You guys do your thing. And there was very little, daily interaction between those two, because Missy Jen would be here in the house and we would be out on the van working outside. So
Yeah.
fish fry, spitting out the food on the plate. So
Uh,
so
I mean, like, again, you did so much for this man, and it doesn't seem like he brought very much to the table. And I'm just glad that, I don't know, I'm glad that you cut ties with him. I never judged you on it, you know that. I've thrown you a couple rib shots here and there over the years. But other than that,
it's like you said, Ford, there's a time to leave and there's a time it's done. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not here. We came here in October. We
Yeah.
immediately got hit by the fires, which devastated the time schedule right off the bat. Okay, and we had Halloween coming up, and I've got to make sure that we're festive. Missy Jan likes to see lights put up and Halloween celebrated and all that. But the fires, I had to take time to pack up all my best stuff in case we had to evacuate the ranch. It was a really bad time. And then the holidays come, Thanksgiving, and the rainy season begins, and it just makes it miserable.
Yeah.
You got somebody that doesn't get up till noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then he has to have his coffee for an hour, and then you're not underway till 2 o'clock. Well, hell, I've already been up since 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and come 5 o'clock, I'm done for the day, man.
You're ready to go. Yeah.
I'm done.
Hey, Dragon Slow.
I always told him I don't work past 5 o'clock. Well, Mr. X and I would work into the night, and I don't do that. Okay, I don't do that. That's not my work schedule. So we fought a lot of weather, materials. We had to engineer. There was no patterns to build this thing out. I don't think anybody ever gutted a whole camper van and then right down to the flooring. Everything had to be custom cut, fitted in, all the electrical, all that stuff had to be done. And that took some thought and some work. How are you going to run these wires? You had the generator. How are we going to hook up the generator? I got to tie that into the electrical system, switch box. There were a lot of things that had to be overcome. How are we going to fit a full-size bed in the back and have it supported? Because he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys like 3 bills, so it's a lot of weight on that. It's a lot of things to be worked out so that you're not pushing out the walls on the side of the vans. All that.
Yeah, people are. I don't know if it's froze. I just think there's nobody typing.
I'm not sure. Let me.
People are. We're just chilling. We've been kind of on cruise control, just having a great time.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think a lot of people they're listening, but
I think they got their devices down. You know what I mean, listening through their earbuds.
And I think we've kind of covered everything off.
We did too.
I came with receipts today.
Yeah, you did.
There may be other people that claim that they did it, but I'm the only person that demonstrably has proof that I communicated with YouTube about this situation. So I feel good about that. Even if it hadn't have worked, I still would have felt good about it. So
yeah,
because at least the main channel got terminated. Thank you, BBE. So
okay, yeah. I don't know what's
good
going
friend
on.
of mine, Beta Boy Elvis. Thank you.
Beta Boy Elvis.
Hey, Dragon, how you doing? Good to see you, Dragon's Law. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate that. So.
Dragon's Law wanted to know earlier if when he dressed up that night, do you think that he's dressed up cross-dressed before? And he faked it, or do you think that was his first time doing it?
Yeah, I think that was probably his first time.
Yeah, I never got to do that. I wanted to do that when I got to Vegas. And Allie never brought my dress that she said she was going to bring. She said she was going to bring me her one dress from high school. It was a red slinky dress. And I was like, yeah, bring it. I don't give a shit. I'll cry. It's Vegas. Who cares? I'm at the Bellagio. I'll go down there and gamble in a dress. Who cares? I'll live stream the hell out of that. Hey, beautiful Claire.
Yeah, I just think part of the
Oh, baby.
it's very hard to live a dual life where if you have to deny your own sexuality and things like that, it's
Yeah, who
such a basic part of human nature that it
cares?
probably triggers all kinds of emotional things within your being, that you don't even know about it, and it manifests itself in maybe you can hate women or something, or there's. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a degree in aberrant psychology, but there's probably a lot of things to be worked through in that regard. So
Yeah, I hear that. But yeah, he's. I woke up this morning and I just seen some news on the front, and now I'm sorry, Rosie, for reaching out to you so early, but I was just like, hey, I don't know if she's probably sleeping, so.
no, I just put that thing up earlier to roll it around 10 because I was at work.
Yeah.
I had to go to work some today, so.
That's
Which
right.
I'm happy to do. I'm happy to have some jingle in my pocket again. I'm really happy to have that. But I never thought I'd be back in the work world again. But YouTube just sucks. Just sucks for monetization and things like that. So.
Hey, Leo, Tony, what's going on?
And as far as somebody sent me something about IRC, I pulled a couple wrenches. You never know what'll happen. Even though IRC Bully was very nice to me in Milwaukee, and
oh God, how'd you wrench him? Why the hell did you wrench him?
I let him wrench because he was very nice to me in Milwaukee. He's never done anything or said negative to me, but he seems to be very up in the doing everything except throwing roses of sadness that Elvis's channel's been terminated. So I pulled that wrench today. No hard feelings, but a wrench is a powerful thing to have. You can go
it is.
You can remove comments. You can screw up things tremendously. So.
Well, that's why I wrench most people if I know they're a real account. I don't know why your wrench not wrench. Your wrench, you know how they.
I never really want a wrench in chat.
Yeah, but I've had you since our interview.
I know you do. I just.
I don't know why, or I might have done a stripping. I don't know if I stripped. I'm not sure. It happens.
Wrenches and all that. Yeah.
But I don't understand why it doesn't show up now. It's all messed up in the whole channel. Anyway? This whole thing with you not being able to go to the other channels just by clicking them. Do you agree with that or disagree?
Oh, I guess that was to battle sub for sub people that would.
Yeah, which is stupid. I don't know why they do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
sub for sub doesn't benefit anybody because they're not going to watch your stuff if they sub you. You want organic growth that people came to you because they like your content. That's the people that watch it, not sub for sub. So
yeah.
YouTube threw out the baby with the bathwater, but I don't really know another way to. Do that, to tell you the truth. So.
Well, yeah, IRC. I remember that video back then when he rolled up on Rosie and Elvis. Were you on that? Yeah, you were there on that. Remember? Oh, I remember when my man, Mr. Dirty, rolled up on you on Elbo in Vegas.
Yeah. Well.
And he likes you. He likes you. He's always told me, even in private, Mr. Dirty's like,
oh, yeah.
I respect I got no beef with Rosie. I just don't understand why the hell she, supports that.
I got along great with him. IRC Bull probably gave me the biggest scare I ever had in my life on YouTube. We rolled into a very unsavory neighborhood in Milwaukee, having driven up from Chicago. And on the parking lot, I got my window down, and all of a sudden somebody comes up to me and has a bandana over their nose and their mouth, and dressed all in black and everything, black-looking guy. And he leans down on my window, on my door, and I thought to myself, okay, here we go. This guy's going to tell me to get over in the seat, and then we're going to go for a drive somewhere, and this guy's going to waste me. And he lifts up the side of his shirt, and he's packing a pistol on him, okay? Now, I didn't freak out like a little baby and scream and holler. I started plotting how I'm going to get the hell out of this thing. But then he dropped his mask down and said something like, I'm not the one that caused you to lose your monetization. And then I laughed and I knew it was a YouTube person. And he turned out to be a really great guy. You know, he was very, very, very nice. Yeah.
So
I don't
what's
know what's going on with is your thing frozen on this?
I don't know. People are saying some people are saying the chat is frozen. Some people are saying it's fine. I don't see a problem with it. I think a lot of people in chat are normal boy watchers. They're just watching. You know
Oh,
what I
okay,
mean?
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I just refreshed and it's all new chat here. So okay.
There's no bots here. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Claire, and Claire there, and thank you for following Claire. I love
Oh,
Claire.
yeah, I like Claire a lot. She's one. I'll be right back.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah. Yes, Claire is wonderful.
I like Claire a lot.
See that, Claire? Yes, we're still here. Well, Kit and Kat, I don't know what happened. See, how's it? I don't understand. Sorry, Donna. J Cash, what the heck? Last comment you see, 6:33. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it, folks. I'm sorry about that. I mean, there's literally nothing I can do about it. Oh, there you go. Well, Cupcake got a wrench. So it does take it takes like an hour for wrenches to come through. Yeah. I got you triggered. That is really slow. I'm at the YouTube side.
Or I'm just going to check my mail for a minute. Okay.
Go ahead, yeah. It's cool. We're just chilling. We're just chilling. Yeah, go out and come back in. Try that, guys. Because there's nothing. It seems to be normal. I mean, a little slow, I guess. Right, Pagel? I don't know. JN, hey! Long time no see. Yeah, I mean, 230 people in here? This is typical for 230 in the boy. As far as comments. Your chat's not moving, Sean? I mean, I see it moving even on my StreamYard, I see it moving.
We're tired of this smoking in there.
What the hell? What's going on over here? All right, here. Let me line something up. Rosie's busy beating her oven to death here. The scones did not turn out well, and she is not happy. Let me see here. New tab. Let me go over here. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What happened?
As far as somebody saying Joni will host and whatever, I can't control that, but I know if she puts a monetary arrangement to use her account or something like that, and if she's on disability or something like that, she's really risking a lot by being involved financially with that. So you got to really think twice about letting somebody else use your Social Security in your channel.
What? Social Security? All right, I don't even know who this Joni person is. She comes from nowhere. I don't know who that is. It seems to me that they just want to ride the whole Elvis thing, coattail situation out. That's all it seems to me. That's just me. It's not just my stream. Others are messing up too. That's got to be YouTube. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube is.
I never had an issue with, she comes into my chat. I try to be friendly with her. She's respectful to me in my chat. But she may be easily persuaded to allow him to engage in commandeering that channel, and then there'll be ramifications financially if she does super chat and AdSense and things like that. You have to be very careful with that when you're on a fixed income and things like that. So you're liable for all that reporting and things like that.
Yeah.
You have to provision for your Social Security quarterly payments as a 1099 contract employee. So I would tell anybody, be very cautious about that arrangement before you sign over your channel and things like that. Be very, very careful. So
No, Flatty, you're not blocked.
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like the chat's advanced.
The chat's not. Yeah, I think YouTube.
Last thing I see was LT when they were eating a fish fry was why he was eating and spitting out the food on his plate. So I guess it's all over. I guess it's all over YouTube. I know that the 911 system was down across half the nation today. So
really,
yeah, it was a denial of service attack or something.
That's not
so
concerning. I mean, that's disconcerting. Wow. Thank you, G-Man. Ghost, how you doing, brother? G-Force in the house. Hello.
Yeah, let me see if I got it on my phone. It's maybe my connection. I don't know. I don't see a G in here, so let me see.
Yeah, G. Or Mr. Mangoes is here. Chat is going crazy. That's, Crusher, that's because it's catching up. I don't know. It's not my internet. My internet's, I'm looking at my ping. I'm rolling here. And Rosie and I have been on for 2 hours now, and we've been having no interruptions. We've been good.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of lucky. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing.
People are saying that it's not. There's people having trouble
Yeah,
even
because
streaming.
I'm not seeing. G.
Hey, line screw.
Or line screw, so I don't know what's going on.
Charla, I see. I mean, see, I'm on.
You'll have to relay the chat to me if there's anything.
It's weird because, like, the super chat that Lady Bobini gave us at 6:06 p.m., which is almost an hour ago, is still up on my StreamYard tab. So it's almost like YouTube connected, and there's some type of delay. Wow. Yeah.
I think all kinds of internet's under attack today, and networks are under attack. So,
Woo, we're lucky to be here today. If you guys have any questions for the wonderful Rosie O Kelly, please ask them in chat. I'm sure she will answer probably 99% of them.
yeah, you'll have to relay them to me. So
I will relay any questions, and we'll, it's almost been 2.5 hours, Rosie, we've been on here chilling. And again, I don't want to keep you all day or anything like that.
No, but I think people get the basic.
They get the idea, yeah.
Why I think that possibly my activities resulted in his double termination on YouTube. So, or I should say, by his own hand and his own stupidity.
Is there anything you want to, anything else you want to touch base on that you want to kind of reiterate on or let people know about anything?
I just wanted to say I'm not going to let up on it, although it's not my basic nature to ever. I've always been a say la vie person. Like, if you brought a channel back and you're on the void, okay, well, what the hell, I mean, I don't bother people like that. It's not me. I'm not the policeman of YouTube. I've never struck anybody for copyright. I've never dropped a community strike on somebody on YouTube. But I have a vested interest. This will be the only thing I really stay on top of going forward, because he drew first blood on me and was very happy to do everything in his power to terminate my channel. And I will reciprocate with everything in my power to return the favor consistently going forward. And because I do have the ear of YouTube and have demonstrated that I have the ear of YouTube, I won't abuse it, but I will use it if need be to accomplish that.
I cannot believe he tried to just straight as terminate your channel.
Yep.
What a son of an asshole. Like, damn, man. Like,
Yeah, like I say, I'm getting messages from some people. The chat's frozen on there, and
yeah, and so and it's freezing, and then it's going wild.
I'm being told to smile.
Smile. There you go.
It's been a long few weeks. You know,
Yeah.
it's been a long few weeks, and it just demonstrates for how low somebody will go. You know what I mean? Like you said, I can't believe somebody would be that devious to use multiple accounts and copy the links for specific videos and then try to strike you on that. Yeah, that's it, Joe King.
Oh God.
But
But you know,
there's a plus side too, right? And here's the plus side. This is what makes me happy. It's given me a chance also to reach out to the community, tell certain people like Nicole and Colleen, and give apologies where they're warranted here today.
yeah,
And I think that's a positive thing for healing. And things like this can bring a community together too. They don't necessarily have to rip it apart.
I
And
agree.
on the Boyd, we don't have many of these moments. We're a fantastic place for viewing and for colorful people, but we're also a place that, as we know, can dish out a lot of pain and a lot of agony to people. So days like today, I think, are really to be relished by all of us down here. That
Yeah.
we do have some faith in YouTube. At the end of the day, they do the right thing. May take a long time, but I look at it as a positive today of how it brings the community together.
Yeah, and I'm glad. And I never, wanted to get anything personal or anything like that. Like, but it's just, it seemed like you wanted to reach out. In my personal opinion, as a friend, it seemed to me you wanted to reach out publicly about like just apologizing to people. And there was an opportunity to kind of explore that a little bit. And I'm glad because I think
Yeah,
I think it helped. I'm going to say right now, like it helped. It helped.
and I started
So,
that last night, because I thought, wow, how did we reach the point that we've gotten? And now now that we have to live in fear that we have somebody that's potentially psychotic in the world, and it is so hell bent on succeeding at all costs. It was a scary thought to me. You know what I mean? That somebody could do as much for him as I did, and that somebody would go that low was mind blowing to me. Like it's been mind blowing to you. Like how does a person see that, right? Or how does a person rationalize that? And that got a little bit spooky last night.
yeah.
And I find myself wondering, is it really even worth it? Is it really even worth it to when you have the potential to have a nut job like that can be so devious and underhanded?
No, you're not block cover, John. We see you, brother. The chat's messed up.
Yeah, the chat's effed up. There's something going on. Thank you. Hey,
we see.
how you doing? I see what you're posting on. You're highlighting. I see G Mango's there. Hi, G.
Yeah, Bella is here. Monchichi,
Hi, Bella.
regardless.
Oh, here goes the chat again. Here we go.
Yeah, you see it. You have to refresh it, and then it's like.
Yeah, I did before.
And then it's like you got to do it every.
Yeah, there's no. I can't let up anymore. Yeah, smile, everybody's like smile. I hope we don't come to your house. Well, let's just put it this way: I've got my clean kit out with my own personal firearms, and I'm not going to be a clown. I'm not lacking in bravery or courage. That's for damn sure. As I've demonstrated over the years on YouTube. And whatever will be, will be.
Pecan baby.
Yeah, that was another thing that hurt. That I've never gone for family or anything like that, and I'm a person whose family's been very heavily victimized by YouTube and harassed, and a lot of things have been done over the years. And I was appalled because I met Janet in Chicago in November 2015. bought her dinner and hung out with her in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then, although I did not see the hangout, when he was riding with her in Chicago, he went so low as to enlist his sister's help in talking about me physically, how I look, manly, and that was really a surprise to me, and it just showed me what a total lowlife
Yeah.
he was. So.
Yeah, and there's trouble there. I think his sister helped him do this, like try to strip.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
And
then,
Nicole, and there's a message from Nicole, and this did help. And it did help. We will never be the friends we were the years, back then, but very much appreciated with the apology. And she was, at least that got something out there. Good. I'm happy for that.
Oh,
I'm happy for that.
It's as sincere as I've ever made an apology on YouTube, because that's somebody that I've known longer in a relationship on YouTube than anybody else, and I know that she looked up to me to see, how do you go into your golden years as a trans woman, right? I mean, she would be like, I used Rosie as kind of a model to see how it's all great when you're in your 20s and 30s, but then when you get older, I mean, and you're looking at your golden years, there's not many people that are trans that are still around that are giving that sort of daily uploads and things so people can see how their life goes and things like that. So I've always appreciated her ability to bring content and things like that, but I guess it's my desire at that time to move away from controversy on Hangouts, and I got tagged as the Rosie Springer show, and my shows were just so out of control.
Yeah.
I did not want to go down that road again with panel fighting and things like that. So thank you, Jiro. Thank you, Quinny. Appreciate that. So.
Well, Rosie, unless there's anything else you want to touch base on, I mean, I think we did get the point of it. We've been here for almost 2.5 hours. I know you're fixing to go live in a little while. I'm very happy and appreciative to give me an opportunity to be your trebuchet of justice here on my channel, and to kind of tell your side of the story, show some receipts of what the heck was going on around there. Enlighten people on what really took place about the van, about the strikes, about the channel takedowns, about the retorts, about the gut-wrenching type of friendship, backstabbing type of behavior when you've done so much for a person. You thought that it was mutual, back and forth. This is how we survive out here, right? Because what are we without our friends and viewers, right? A channel's only as good as the chat, right?
And the people that you meet, and if you're lucky enough to meet somebody like Fourscores in real life and hang out with them even for an evening, it's a great experience and it changes your life. It's one thing to have friends on the internet, what my friend Day Drifter used to call it FIAs, friendly internet acquaintances. It's another thing when you meet somebody in real life and you're eyeball to eyeball with them and you really see what they're made of. And I've been communicating with Fourscore for weeks to set this up, and I wanted to eventually be able to tell the story, but I wanted to get some closure on it, and he understood. He didn't rush me along. Hey, let's do it part, because I'm a person that likes to put the whole complete deal out. And I think this is a great way to do it. And I encourage everybody to subscribe to this man. His life is going to be infinitely more interesting now as he goes to Florida and makes his way to meet his love in Canada. It's going to be exciting. You're going to want to be a part of this guy's life. So if you haven't subbed up for his channel, I think it's really one of the best things that you can do. And I really value your friendship. And most of all, the thing I'm going to feel good about today is the chance to also apologize to people in the community that have sometimes been caught in the slipstream of my channel and the way that I run it and the people that I interact with in life. And I want to just reiterate as we close, for the that's going to make me feel the best about myself today and bringing this stuff with him to a conclusion.
Right.
And if I can make somebody feel better out there and just clear and wipe this slate clean, and I think that's all of this stuff was worth it. Will I ever get monetized on my channel again? It's not really significant in the scheme of things because I'm back at work again, at least for the time being. And I never set my wholesale to about whether I'm monetized. I've been demonetized more than I've been monetized the last year. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but this too shall pass, and I'll eventually get things straightened out. But I'm happy to be back in the work world again, at least part time. So thank you in closing for the opportunity.
Absolutely, and thank you for hanging out. I know you don't go on panel much, but what do you think you'll ever do any panels in the future?
Yeah, I believe I will.
You're going to go back to it? I think that'd be cool, man.
I think I will. I think I'll try to have people start with just a one-on-one with some people and then build from there. Because I think everybody has a life cycle. Like G's been doing these things, I think, for about a year. And I approached about 2.5 years or so.
Yeah.
And after a while, you kind of reach a limit where you've done it for, and I did hundreds and hundreds of panel streams, and it becomes difficult after a while because, we get to drinking and then fighting occurs, and then you have Jerry Springer shows, and it's not the best look for your channel and things like that. So
of course, yeah, you talk a lot about high riders and low riders on here in closing. Yeah. And, I think everybody has a little mixture of both along their journey here, even in any social media. It doesn't have to be YouTube. But, again, one of my big things is we all fight and bicker on here about little things that escalate to the point of going after people to the throats, even in real life in some cases, which is ridiculous, swatting, etc. But put us all in a stadium together, or put us in an end of the world situation, and all of a sudden we start to come together, and you'd be surprised at how much we'd work together. I think that, again, everybody has been out of shape. We all have cabin fever. The COVID has really took a toll on a lot of people.
But before, I just wanted to interject one point.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Anything.
This is what makes the Boyd kind of different than the drama community per se, because we don't point. None of us, and there's tons of people in the Boyd, and it's growing dramatically recently. People come to the Boyd because they know they're going to see extremely colorful characters on here, as opposed to people that are just batting it back and forth with drama and things like that. And I think that's what makes the Boyd really unique, is the fabric of the individuals that are down here. That we bring something besides just bringing out a bat and hitting each other all the time. We do crazy stuff on here. We have street encounters with people like Quinn with 2 N's and crazy live streams. It's good watchable stuff that people enjoy seeing. Hey, maybe tonight's Rosie's going to get her ass kicked. Yeah, on live stream and stuff like that. And there are so many people doing cool stuff on here that it's one of the reasons I'll forever be a Boyd booster, because I think it's the greatest and most colorful community here on
it's
YouTube.
Nuts. It's crazy, and I love it. There's people.
There's a good question. Please ask Rosie, has he attempted any content?
Yes.
No.
Yep. No, I didn't think so.
On February, when he left on the 25th, I took off for Las Vegas, I believe. And then I came back, and he was hanging around Roner Park for a while and things like that. His very last text message to me was in early March, when he accused me of doxing out his location.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That is I answered back, I never doxed out your location. I've never doxed anybody on YouTube. That was the very last communication. Now, one day in one day in June, May or June, somebody called me at nighttime, and like everybody's got my number and stuff. Somebody called me from nighttime from Phoenix area in Arizona, and they said, "Hey, I just want to communicate with you. I'm a friend of Elvis, and
Yeah.
he said he hopes that you guys can make peace." Well, I'm like, well, that's great or whatever. Thanks for calling. And because if you want to make peace, then be a stand-up guy and make peace. You know what I'm saying? But I suspect it was a troll call at the at the end of the day. But no, there's been no communication whatsoever since that time.
Oh, there you have it. Let's see. Yeah, and that's right. And you heard it earlier. You know, she will go after him if he comes back. But again, I mean,
I had the displeasure hearing myself torn to pieces all spring and summer.
yeah,
On his channel. I mean, I got my little digs in here and there, but not like he did.
yeah.
That's okay. It's water. It's water over the dam, right?
That's right. Well, again, Waterloo, Rosie, Waterloo.
Yeah, told you Waterloo was coming. Napoleon's 100 days, right? So
there you go. Well, for the side chat and for myself and for the one and only Rosie O Kelly, thank you so much, Rosie,
thank
for
you,
coming on
everybody.
and
Thank you
telling
for
us, of course, telling us all about the stuff that a lot of people didn't know, and a little bit of inkling into the little gaps and filling in the holes in there. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And for you coming on here, it was a fun time as always to hang out. Hey, I hope when I get up there, we'll be able to hang out in Vegas next year when I get settled. And
you might see me in Canada first. You know,
that would be fine. And on the same note, I hope that we get to see you on panel soon in the next few months, maybe for the holidays. Maybe we'll have a Rosie Christmas panel. We don't know. She loves them.
there we go.
Thank you, everybody.
Say hi to Claire for me, and thank you.
Will do. All right, guys. It's been a great time, and thank you all for coming and supporting the cause. But we will see you on the next one, and you heard it here from the horse's mouth.